Hi, this is Eliza Kendall coming to you from Bundjalung Country, northern New South Wales, Australia. It is Thursday, the 8th of April, 2021. This lovely lady is Gaya. I'll let her introduce herself.
I'm Gaya. I'm 21 this June, and I've known Eliza for a good year now, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd love to ask a few questions on behalf of young people of the world.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard times for everyone, but I'd like to know a few things, and hopefully it helps the people that watch this.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've invited Gaya today to speak and ask some questions. On behalf of her generation, of the young people, particularly those that might find themselves in similar situations or facing similar issues to Gaya herself. We feel that it'd be really, important information, really appropriate for others to share, because we're both aware that there are many young people that are finding things challenging, and hopefully we can get some information in this spirit report today that can help. So for those who don't know, basically what I'm going to do is open myself to channel with some higher dimensional beings who have some appropriate information for us. I am only willing to speak with those and certainly channel on behalf of those who have positive information that is appropriate for our current state of evolution and contributes to the thriving of humanity on this particular planet, and also the thriving of Gaya, the consciousness herself, as well as this Gaya here. We have two Gayas going on. It's the best name ever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's really special. Okay, great. So I'm just going to take a few moments to drop out, and then when they're ready, they'll just kind of say something like, yes, ask the questions or something like that. Okay.
Cool.
And you can just go ahead and ask whatever you like. Yes, we would love to speak to you about this matter. What is it that you wish to ask us at this time?
Okay, there's a lot of things changing. I think we still have a lot to go. I think my generation is suffering greatly. Anxiety, depression. Why do you think it's at an all-time crisis? Young people, more than ever before, I think, are struggling a lot right now. They don't know who they are, they don't know what they want to be, they're scared. I don't know.
Yes, we very much appreciate you asking us these questions. We are very interested to know what it is like for you and how it is you are experiencing this time. We wish this time to share with you how we experience this time, and perhaps within that there is some understanding and perhaps even some hope, some illumination, or a shining light, some warmth from the sun, perhaps. And so, we wish to say that at this time we find the changes to be tremendous, and we want to say wonderful. We feel that these changes are showing such great sign of courage, such great sign of strength, such great sign of tenacity, and yes, a waking up. But it is a waking up to a strength, a waking up to a courage within that has always been there within all humans. There has been a deep courage and a deep strength within, as well as a deep intelligence to very easily navigate all the different ups and downs, or hills or valleys, or rough winds and calm seas. All the experiences can really be navigated quite easily, and there have been many, many factors at play up until now as it has played out that have contributed to it somewhat of a smothering or a muddying of the qualities that are coming, well, let's say back online now. These qualities within the human condition, within the human mind, within the human expression through the mind and the hands and the eyes and the arms and the ears and the voice. All of the ways that you can express yourself are now coming into full activation. They are waking up more and more inside of you as you are using more of your capacity and, yes, remembering, or we simply want to say cleaning and clearing away the mud. And so this is a time where a great clearing and cleaning of the muddiness that has contributed to the feeling of being downtrodden, the feeling of being put down, of being reduced, of being smothered, of being sort of pushed into the darkness and covered up with dirt and leaves until you can't even really see that there's any light outside. There have been many, many things that have played into that, and there are some of those things that is appropriate for you to know about, so that some understanding and learning can be made, so that new futures can be written. But many of those things are now, well, we want to say they're becoming irrelevant. They really are becoming something that does not need, or if it continues in the way that it is that we so hope it will, they will not have an impact on you in the very near future. And so we wish for you to know that from our viewpoint, those of you who are at this particular time in your development, or let's say your generation, those of you, we see you, well, we could say perhaps that we see you in a shell that has already cracked, but the shell cracked and you looked outside and you didn't like what you saw out there. And so you tried to close the shell again and put yourself back into the shell, and maybe some of you came out of the shell and you didn't really like what you saw outside, and you didn't know how to meet it and deal with it, and it was so confusing to you because it didn't really make sense to the way that you were, we want to say, destined to see.
Right.
The way that you were here to see is still being revealed. The mud is still coming off. We want to say you won't know who you are yet. It's not quite time. Maybe some of you already do, but you just don't really know what to do with it. You're not going to have it all figured out quite yet for most of you. This is, we want to kind of say that, you can have it all figured out in a moment if you want to. You totally can. You have infinite possibilities. But the way that it sort of appears to us from this vantage point as the kind of energy in the collective of your generation spanning across the world, there is this energy of not wanting to come out of that shell, even though it has well and truly cracked open. And for those of you who have come out of the shell, we want to say to you that your shell is no longer working for you because the shell itself is completely outdated. The shell is no longer working for you as a method of protection and a method to cocooning, and perhaps even a method to completely transforming, as the caterpillar does to the butterfly, because the shell that you are attempting to put yourself back into is your birth shell, and your birth shell is no longer relevant. It was some years ago now, and more than years, it was at a very different time in the evolution of human consciousness. And yes, all of you who are watching and listening and feeling these sufferings are here, to contribute to a very important change on the planet. And so we wish for you to do what you need to do to feel comfortable. But don't try and get back into that old shell. Build yourself a new one. That's what you're here to do. You are builders in every sense of the word. Maybe you build new feelings. Maybe you build new energy around the place. Maybe you build a new way to look and relate and connect to people. Or maybe you actually build new structures and new systems. You are builders across all the planes of this planet, impacting all the layers of experience.
Right.
Yes.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, certainly.
So for the people who are struggling to get out of that shell, what can you give us?
Yes, to the ones who are in the shell and
They're
they
scared.
have looked and they've seen through a window, and it's a lot. There's a lot of information. A lot of the information is confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so it is we feel it is very helpful. It'll be very helpful for all of you to be very focused on certain things and train your mind now as you are still in the shell. Train your mind before you get out of the shell completely, to emerge into the world completely. Train your mind to focus on what is important. Focus on what you want to see, not what you think is the reality, because you know that is not the reality. It is what has been perceived to be the reality. What you think now and then now and then now is the reality. And so could you remain in your shell? Could you stay very cozy and comfy? Stay in the womb if you want to. Stay in your room if you want to. But when you look out at the world, in whatever way you look out at the world, be it through a device, through your third eye lens, through your empathic heart, through physically meeting people, whatever way you engage with the world, perhaps just looking out the window through that little crack of the shell.
I noticed you mentioned, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, we just want to say, could you see what you want to see and notice that? See what is part of the way you want the world to be, the way that you know is better. Could you notice those things that contribute to the better way? And don't look at the other things. What do you need to be able to do that?
Well, I think, as you said before, you mentioned digital. I think that now, because everything is so always in your, we're not, what I'm asking is, are we supposed to see everything that's going on 24/7? Like, I don't think is that a plus? Is it a negative?
It is a catalyst for your birth, but more than this, we wish to share with you, those of you who are listening, we are speaking to, who are in this particular generation, we wish to share with you that the main benefit to you, as we see it from our vantage point, in regards to, we want to say, the landscape of social media, all that encompasses that, or even relating to anyone through the internet. So let's say that. This particular experience for you, all of you who are in this generation, who are listening, is to teach you how to see through the illusion, because you can and you do. And so as we ask you to perhaps do something for yourself that could be very helpful and beneficial, to assist with seeing through the illusion and to assist with more comfortability with seeing anything in the outside world, outside of your own inner self, could you just see straight to the truth and ignore everything? Don't even look at it. No need to understand what is a lie. No need to understand what is illusion. No need to understand why the illusion is there or why others believe the illusion. That is none of your business, especially at this time. We wish to say, for now, that is not helpful for you to look at. What is helpful is for you to notice and feel in every part of your body what is true for you from this place of, we want to say, harmony. But, for many of you in the beginning, it will come to you as a subtle knowing. But it won't come if you are feeling very scared, if you are looking at the things that you know make you feel scared or angry or upset, then it will be a hindrance to feeling what is true. And when you can focus on what is true and just focus on that, then you are adding to that and you are building that and you are within your purpose and on your path. And even if you think that all you are doing is looking at what feels right to look at and following your intuition, and you think maybe it's not such a big deal, what you are doing is fulfilling your purpose and your path, and you will then begin to feel as if you are belonging on this place. You will be taking action that is positive, and this will bring you confidence and self-esteem and a sense of belonging in the world around you and hope. All of these things will come from the very simple act of focusing on what you know to be true and just looking away at all other things, and then bringing other people's attention to what you know to be true. And not in a way that says, this is true, in a way that says, look how beautiful that is. That sun is true. The way the sun comes and it warms me up and I feel really good, that is true. And so look at those things. Feel good about those things. And if you can, share them around. But if not, just look at them through the little crack in the egg until you can look at a little more and then a little more, and you begin to warm up from the inside out. Do you have any other questions? There's some others here that are willing to also speak.
Oh, I'd love to know who. Love to listen.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. Yes. Do you have a question for us? We have some things that we would like to share with you. We have been listening to what was said, but we are also willing to answer questions if you have them.
Okay. So from what I understand, things are changing, and what is for our generation? I feel like everyone expects us to clean up everything and to make everything right. You know, I almost feel as though everyone's just kind of like, hoping.
Yes, and this is correct, and you will, and so did the generation before you, and so did the generation before you. Every generation hopes that the generation below them cleans up the mess that was made before them. It is part of the evolutionary chain, and we wish to say that every generation cleans up the mess that was left before them in the exact perfect way that they were destined to clean up the mess that is before them. Nearly most of the time, that's pretty much how it goes. And so you will play your part, and you are playing your part now. And there is, in many ways, no wrong move you can make, because you will simply play your part by being here, by being, and we want to stress the being in your body, by choosing to be here. And so, well, I guess we wish to say to you in response to that as well, that if you want to know one action and only one action, that will mean that you completely feel your purpose and your place, and you, yes, clean things up. For all the generations before you, the very best thing that you can do is simply accept and choose every day to be here on the earth in your body. That is the one action that you can take that we want to say is everything else. A daily choice.
So you would say to people who are taking it really hard and not really knowing what the hell they want to do, how the hell they want to feel, to just calm down, is what you're saying, and take a deep breath and try and shut off the rest of the world.
Yes, but we do not advise a shutting off of the rest of the world. We advise a focusing on what feels good. Receive the world, but receive what feels good to you. You do not need to receive what feels bad. That is not your task as a generation. You are not all designed to transmute other people's energies, but we know that many of you are very sensitive to other people's energies, and this is a tool that will be used and is being used. And as we have already heard some of our colleagues here say, this tool for you will be one that you use to bust through the illusions, because you can feel truth and you can feel lies. And this is something that is like a muscle that just requires you to get used to using. And so the suggestion for you to get used to using it was to focus on what feels good and focus on what you want to create and contribute to. And that is very good advice. And we also just invite you to accept what is, and to know that every day, just be. If you wake up and you don't want to face the world, and you don't want to get out of bed, and you don't want to really kind of look at anything or anyone, then accept that that's how you are right there in that moment. And ask yourself, what would feel a little better? That's it. And then do that. And maybe what feels a little better is taking a deep breath. Or maybe what feels a little better is just touching yourself a little, saying some kind words to yourself, hugging someone. Maybe what feels better is just a couple of minutes in the sun, or just put your feet on the ground for just a little bit. And if that is all you do for the day, then accept that, and accept it, and accept it, and accept it, so that you can create peace and harmony. Because if you are hating yourself and hating the world, then you are simply perpetuating that which you want to avoid, that which you are so yearning to counteract and negate.
Yeah.
So begin at home. Those of you who are unable to go out yet, then the calling is for you to begin at home. Those of you who can't get out of bed, then you know what that means for you. Then you know that means you need to love yourself, go within, accept yourself, and then ask yourself, what do I need to feel better? And then do a little bit that, a little bit that. And we know that when you accept yourself and you are holding yourself very gently and not attacking yourself or beating yourself up, I got to get it together, I got to get out of bed, I got to do this, the world is awful, any of these kind of things, we know that you feel them all and that you want to think about them and figure them out. But we're suggesting to you, don't think about them and figure them out. Just hold yourself now for a while. Just hold yourself, just be. Accept yourself, and you will find that when you accept what is there, you have a little bit more strength and a little bit more courage to maybe take one little step. Just take a little walk or eat a bit of food.
So down to the basics. We need to look after ourselves first.
Yeah, and know that you're not just doing that because you are so... We are wanting to say in all senses that you have to perceive all things around you, you are highly skilled, highly perceptive. And so in many dimensions, in beyond time and space, we want to say you are perceiving and receiving information, and you are actually contributing a great deal of positive information and energy to the collective consciousness of this entire Earth planet, all the life on it, by actually just accepting yourself and eating that bit of food and taking that bit of walk. You are contributing in such a tremendous way. You're not being self-indulgent or, you just remove the pressure from yourself. This is perfect. You are chrysalis now. It's okay. It's where you are. You're in a natural cycle. You don't hate the caterpillar. You don't kind of, yell at the egg to crack open already. You don't yell at the flower if it's not yet ready to bloom. You go, well, you clearly need a little more water and a little more light and a little more oxygen. Nourishment from the ground. You give the flower full permission to bloom in its own time. Could you give that to yourself? We feel that would make a tremendous difference, and we're so grateful that you have asked us, and we hope that it is helpful for you.
Why do you think this generation suffers so much, or like doesn't know how to like properly take care of themselves, like self-care, like what you just mentioned? I just know a lot of people who that's the hardest thing for them to do. Why is it that our generation is so like
Yes. We wish to say that we have
sensitive?
expressed the remedy to this, and it is simply being accepting that you are here. There is a lot of contribution to this particular issue that you mentioned that does come from the rejection of being here. There has been a decision, you could say, made by those in your generation that the world was not nice, it wasn't kind, it wasn't good, it wasn't tidy enough, it wasn't pretty enough, it wasn't soft enough, it was not gentle enough, and so we don't want it and we reject it. And we wish to say to you again and again and again that the way to change something is you must first accept that it is so. For the rejection of it continues to perpetuate it, you see, because that is a very strong energy. And as you exist in this reality, it must be balanced out by an equal and opposite energy. And so the rejection of it is not a way to evolve. The acceptance that it is there first and foremost. And so we are not even asking you to accept everything that is there in the life, everything that is there in the world around you. We are asking you to accept yourself in your body, to begin there. This will give you enough attention and energy within your own vessel to tend to it. And when your vessel is tended to, and yes, we use the word vessel because all of you are aware that your body is a vessel that you are using. It's a miraculous, wonderful, intrinsically dynamic and amazing vessel. But you know that it is something that you are using to move through the realms of earth. And so a choice was made by all of you to come into this vessel and to use it. And so there is no sending the car back for another one, or sending the car back and then waiting until, the terrain looks a little easier to navigate. What is instead suggested for you is to take great care of the vessel so that you can navigate the world outside with it. And we also wish to say there is something else occurring with your generation that perhaps this may assist you to bring into some understanding, because you are a great participants, as other generations around you are and will continue to be, to the change, the great change in humanity, in the face of the planet and all of its experiences for all living forces. As you are contributing to that, you are also reshaping the old version of love, of self-love. This is tricky for some of you to learn because it is what you will teach. Seeing through the massive amounts of misinformation that comes your way, seeing through the matrix and accepting that the matrix is there in the first place is tricky for you because it is what you will teach. It is what you will be way showers for. You already feel through these things and know the truth instantly. And yes, it is the experience in the life that has the most challenges that is, of course, always the one with the most learnings. And we do, though, want to give you whatever help that we can for that to be easier and more graceful for you. And we hope that that has come to pass.
Thank you.
Mm. There's kind of like images going through my head. It's like they're showing me like it's like riding the present, riding the future, and then wiping it, and then riding it, and then wiping it, and then riding it, and then wiping it again and again and again and again. It's like clearing timelines again and again and again and again. It's like every day, and they're kind of adding this image in to this, this idea of accepting yourself in your body every day. It's kind of like that is creating a new timeline. For you and for everyone, it creates a new possibility. If all I have to do every day is just accept that I'm here and I'm in this body, and whatever is there, I just meet what is there. I meet whatever feelings and whatever emotions and whatever physical signs and symptoms are there, and I just accept that they're there. And from that place, I'm actually like kind of rewriting scenarios again and again and again and again and again and again. That gives me like optimal, sort of ultimate possibility to then sort of grab that one when I've learned how to focus a bit, grab that one that is the best, most kind of exciting one for me or for everyone, and kind of dig into that a little bit deeper. It's kind of like, writing, and then at some point one just goes, and it's like you're ready to kind of almost write the next steps of your life. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. It's like actually being your own playwright is really what they're showing, and like you don't need to come out from behind the curtain until you're ready and you've written that sort of perfect page, and it might not be the whole play, it's just one scene. The one scene, you can write the one scene, you're like, that scene feels good, I'm out of the curtain, I'm going to do that one scene. And then maybe you pause and write another scene, and maybe you write 17 scenes before the next one comes out or whatever. It's this beautiful sort of very refresh until something just feels like, yes, like illumination, inspired, like when you're inspired to sort of come out, follow that thread, very cool. Okay, thank you. They're always happy to speak again, is what they're saying. I was like, does anyone else have anything they want to say?
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to come and sit in council with you again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
pretty cool.
So they would, like, if I had more questions, they'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, for sure. They were like, because I was kind of like, should we keep going? My conscious mind is, we don't know what time it is.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you guys reckon?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what was said. There's 5 of them now, and they're sitting in sort of a semicircle. It's like they're sort of sitting in council.
Right.
It's kind of like they've been called, like, I would like to have a word with you. And
right.
So they've kind of come to sit.
Okay.
And it's like having a round table discussion.
Okay.
So, we can definitely come back for sure. They're happy to come anytime.
Awesome.
Interesting to perceive the different frequencies, and there's different ones now from what was like more earthbound ones have come now compared to what was sort of, interesting.
What does that mean?
Well, the ones that were speaking to me felt like they were 2 different representations of the higher dimensional kind of energies, like a starseed kind of beings. Like more specifically, I want to say, the particular tribes that have contributed to the sort of the melting pot of DNA that sort of, made up our original divine blueprint. They were kind of coming to light. The first one was kind of feminine, not quite accurate, but I want to say kind of more of an energy being.
Right.
Whereas the second one was more technical and kind of higher dimension really, but very skilled at bringing wisdom and knowledge through kind of coding and then kind of updating it into systems, like body systems.
So an informant?
Very good at kind of creating, like a manifester.
Oh.
That word manifesting just doesn't seem really appropriate. It's just like he can just create structure instantly.
So interesting.
Yeah, but then there are others that have come now that feel like there might be certain, like a nature spirit, or maybe some plant kingdom,
Right.
maybe even fungi kingdom. Actually, I was curious about that, if that would come.
Interesting. Maybe because we need to connect more to nature.
Doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's different for a lot of us, and it's kind of just, we're just trying to figure out. Well, I guess I can only go from my experiences and what I've seen and what I've met with, and the struggles that I've gone through. But it's hard because I feel like it's been such a big 5 years, and especially for the people that, you know, have just made it out of high school. Like I just finished high school in 2018 or 19, but you know, I can't imagine what it's like right now for people who just, you know, finished high school. And I know there's been so much happening for everyone in the world, specifically right now, with the whole COVID and lockdown. And I think it's affecting the young ones a lot. Yeah, thank you for speaking with me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for asking. Really cool. Yeah, I hope that was really helpful. It felt good. I can't really remember what was said.
I'm going to have to rewatch it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what? I'm curious. Yeah, they were very, I mean, as I said, they're still very, very willing to help. They were kind of quite reverent to be asked, really. It was, they definitely want to. So that's cool. That's good. We can do another one.
Awesome.
Another time.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Awesome. Okay.
Sleepyhead over there.
I know.
He falls asleep every time.
The beautiful doggie's been sleeping the whole time, of course. Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you so much, Gaya.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, we'll see Gaya again. If you'd like to check out my website, get a bit more information about me or what I do outside of these reports, elizakendall.com. And there are a bunch of other spirit reports as well. Look back at some of them if you feel drawn to. There's some really good stuff there over the weeks and over the last year as well that I've been doing it. It's
do more doggy ones.
I know. That'd
more
be great.
Ones.
I would love to do my other ones. I'm thinking about that for sure. Okay, wonderful. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.